There's this biblical commandment, probably one of the most famous ones out there. But what if I told you that the way we usually think about it, is this big, emotional, feel-good thing, is actually missing the point? What if the original meaning was way more powerful, way more world-altering?
And here it is, Deuteronomy 6:5. I'm sure you've heard it. For centuries, right, this verse has been held up as like the peak of spiritual devotion. And when you hear it, your mind probably jumps straight to a really deep, personal, warm feeling for God. But let's just hit the pause button on that for a second.
Because that's the big question we're diving into today. Is this command really about an intense feeling inside you? Or is it about something else entirely? Something, I don't know, more radical, more concrete, something you do out in the open? Seriously, the answer to this could change how you see everything.
All right, so to get to the bottom of this, we've got to start by questioning the one word we think we understand best, love. What did it actually mean to the people who first heard this? Okay, look at this. This really lays it all out. On one side, you've got our modern take. Love is an inner feeling, right? It's personal, it's private. But then you look at the ancient way of thinking, and it's completely different. For them, love was about public allegiance, a binding commitment. It was something you did, not just something you felt. It wasn't about how do I feel inside. It was about who am I loyal to.
So, if love isn't about a warm, fuzzy feeling, then what is it about? Well, to figure that out, we need to do a little time traveling. We're heading back to the ancient world, a world of kings and loyalty oaths.
See, back in the ancient Near East, the word love was actually a political term. You'd find it all over treaties between kings and their subjects. It had nothing to do with romance. It was all about legal agreements. It's the kind of language a powerful king would use to lock in a deal with a smaller nation he protected. And this just nails the point home. The original Hebrew word here, ahav, it's not about affection. In the world of Deuteronomy, it means one thing, covenant loyalty. It's a political word. It means you've chosen a side and you are going to stick with them no matter what. And you prove it by what you do.
Yeah, this quote makes it absolutely crystal clear. To love your king simply meant you were loyal. You paid your taxes, you showed up for the army, and to hate him, well, that meant you were committing treason. Love and hate weren't about your feelings, they were about your actions. Are you a loyal subject or are you a rebel?
Okay, that makes sense. Love equals loyalty. Got it. But what about the rest of it? With all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. What's that all about?
It's so tempting for us to break this down like a biology class, right? The heart is for emotions, the soul is something else, but that's a total modern way of thinking. This phrase is actually a classic piece of Hebrew rhetoric. It's a poetic, all-encompassing way of just saying absolutely everything, the whole shebang.
So let's actually break it down their way. Your heart, that's your will, the center of your decisions and commitments. Your soul, that's your entire life, your whole being, your identity. And your might, that's everything you've got, all your strength, all your resources, all your money. So when you put it all together, the command is to give your loyalty with your decisions, your very life, and every single thing you possess. It's total.
And this demand for total allegiance makes so much more sense when you remember the context. This wasn't a world with just one god on the menu. It was a world jam-packed with competing gods.
Which brings us to the verse that comes right before it, this one. It's known as the Shema, and it is the absolute key to understanding everything. And here's the twist. This isn't some quiet philosophical statement. It is a loud political declaration of allegiance.
I mean, think about it. You're living in a world where every single nation has its own god for the weather, a god for war, a god for money, and then Israel stands up and says this. It was absolutely radical. They were basically shouting, "We serve one king, we have one Lord, and our allegiance will not be divided."
So you see, this command to love God is, by its very nature, a challenge to every other rival out there. Worshipping another god wasn't just like a spiritual mistake. No, it was political treason. It was an act of rebellion against their one true king. This kind of love, this kind of loyalty, leaves zero room for anyone else.
So, what happens when we jump forward to the New Testament? Does this whole idea of love as allegiance just fade away? Nope, not at all. If anything, it gets turned up to 11.
So when Jesus says, "If you love me, you will keep my commandments," he's not making up something new. He is plugging directly into that ancient, powerful idea of covenant love. He's essentially saying, don't just tell me you love me. Show me your loyalty. Prove your allegiance through your actions.
And for Jesus, this wasn't just a teaching point. His entire life is presented as the ultimate example of this kind of loyalty. From the moment he rejects all those rival powers in the wilderness, all the way to the end, his life is a living demonstration of what perfect, unwavering allegiance to God actually looks like.
And this idea is so powerful, it even changes how we should probably think about the word faith. The Greek word, pistis, we often think of it as just mentally agreeing with a list of ideas. But in this world, it means something so much richer. It means faithful allegiance. It's that active, ongoing trust and loyalty you give to your king.
All right, let's wrap this up. Here's the bottom line. Loving God isn't really about a feeling. It's a call to exclusive, unbreakable loyalty. It demands you commit everything, your will, your entire life, all your stuff, to one king, rejecting all rivals. And when we get to the New Testament, that loyalty is focused right on Jesus.
So that leaves us with a pretty big question to chew on, doesn't it? If this ancient command isn't about what you feel, but about who or what you are loyal to, then it's worth asking what truly commands your allegiance today.